Hello guys, I'm 24 and welcome back to Episode Investigation 2 Pursuit of the Path. So I'm kind of sure that we are almost done with this case, since we are more or less at the end of this thing. So I hope that in the 2 or 3 episodes I will finish this case or something. Maybe more, since we are just in the middle or the end, but let's just spare that after this. I will need to just review all other episodes and finish this case. Since this is most long case I ever had. But let's see what happens next, I suppose. April 2, 2 p.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio. Oh yes, I remember that we finished the part with Gregory. Now we are back to the present. And that's why Uncle Ray knows about the IS-7 incident. He was there a lot, right? So that's what happened in my father's last case. The issue of the IS-7 incident. What happened on the child? I want to know that. In the end, Fonkama defeated us. Eh? So you couldn't prove Mr. Master's innocent? That I gathered plenty of evidence to prove it. I suppose nothing worked against him. But Fonkama was even more despicable than we thought. Yeah, because he's a fucking demon, so of course he was more despicable. He was a persecutor who would do anything for his guilty verdict. And so you know him for a while, you will know what it means, Miles. That's right, and he really did use any means necessary. Because of this, the child tagged on for about an year, until we finally received on a conclusion. I'll never forget that fateful day, when the judgment was passed down, the 28th of December. The 10 days del 6th incident. It's April now, so it has been a little of over 17 years. Wow. So also 17 years since Gregory's death, since more or less the time is that, so how much time fly by, huh? The 28th of December. 17 years ago I was watching from that gallery that day. I remember that you were, Miles. Before the Chelsea old man noticed that Mr. Master was acting strangely. He was at the breaking point, both mentally and physically. He wanted to be found guilty. Of course. No, Mr. Master didn't fake a confession, did he? I'm pretty sure he did, okay? Yeah, that was what Fungama was aiming from the start. Fuck. You will then try to expose the fact that the body had not been found. Fungama used the power of his body's currency to quash the argument. I suppose with a fake autopsy report knowing him. He even went as far as to prepare a fake autopsy report. Yep, knew it. I know my person here. Then they made Mr. Massey give a false testimony and confessed to being an accomplice. So not guilty for killing him, but for being an accomplice. With Mr. Master's confession, the situation quickly became dry. But the old man had a trump card upon his lips. I remember that he had one before any the case. Was it the trump card that he was talking to Detective Bird about? I suppose it was. Yeah, that trump card was to be our insurance in case Mr. Master confessed. And I suppose that his gut was right. Let's go to Detective Bird to have Mr. Master's interrogation recorded. Ah, okay. Detective Bird, wanted to know the truth too, huh? Of course he did. He's about a detective, so of course he want to know the truth about all the case he goes through. I think it was dropped off from the investigation. He never stopped the killing about the case. Even when he was involved with other larger cases, he really was the definition of a true detective. Like a detective Gamshu. I mean, maybe more smarter, but you know what I mean. The art of the detective is the same for know everything that you can from the case you're trying to solve, you know. So I'm pretty sure it's very much the same. The defense presented a recording, which proved that the confession was forced. While the senior detective in charge of the intelligence investigation and interrogation, Ripalaster took all of the blame and was charged and dismissed. What a name, Ripalaster, but with a name like that, I suppose you can become a detective that will do any good, so makes sense that he was dismissed after this thing. I mean, I don't know if they were an he or she, but my point is still remain, you know. Still, at the trial, the old man exposes Von Karma's corruption, and Von Karma receives his first penalty from the then chief prosecutor. And I suppose that time it was still Lana Sky, if I remember right. The only penalty is 14 years prosecution. I remember that. So it's also with Phoenix, there will be, we talk about this, where 15 years later he defeated Von Karma once and for all. However, Mr. Master didn't want the child to continue any longer. I suppose because that poor thing was enough for all this stuff, I just wanted it to be over, no matter what. And the contents caused on the child that day with the verdict of guilty. Yeah, I feel as much. The first case of a guilty verdict of Gregory Edward, I suppose. The memory of that time is fuzzy, but I was also there, watching my father's final trial. I think this final regret become my own. I mean, I suppose it's like it should be in a way, says your right son. The older man wanted a child to prove a master's innocent. Of course he wanted that. But after that, he never had the chance on doing that. But he passed on before he could fulfill his wish. Yeah, unfortunately I remember that. And I'm sure if it wasn't for the incident, he would do that, and much wouldn't be a prosecutor now. But getting engaged in another case. Yeah, in that case, Miles know that too well, unfortunately, since he was present when it happened. It breaks my heart even now that I didn't return home with him that day. Yeah. I suppose that even if he was there the same day the trial, I suppose he took the stairs instead of the elevator. That's why he didn't know before that he died in there. And what's more, to blame myself from my own waterness. Ancora I put all of his stated on you as a traitor for being from Karma's pupil. Yeah, on his point of view, I can see why he hated him in a way. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize, Ray. In a way, you were right. Don't be. It's natural you would hate me. Yeah, you must understand that. As I become a prosecutor, I was able to get from Karma to show me the case file. Mr. Master was found guilty for the murder of Isaac Dover. Wait, he was found guilty for the murder? That's not right. Yeah, but wasn't he found guilty as accomplice? Was Mr. Master found guilty of being an accomplice? Yeah, my same question. I mean, what the fuck? But in this case, the file says guilty of murderer. Okay, what the fuck is going on? There shouldn't be anything unsolvable in this case. In this case, handled by Manfred von Karma. Okay, the English something's not right here because Thief Master was convicted as an accomplice. Wait, the critical look at the file. Looks like the charges are being rewritten. I fucking knew that something wasn't right. What? Look at this. Victim's body was found inside a desert made by the suspect. This led to his arrest. In jail, he was diagnosed with hypnogesia. He was treated with biomedicine. But his own confession was convicted as accomplice to the murderer. He actually is accomplice to murderer. This is the copy of the original case file I received from the courts. And of course, he still have it since then. The original one copy, I mean. Why would the charges be altered? I have some ideas. This file was given to you by Von Karma, right? Maybe just didn't want you to know the truth, since you're Gregory's son. Yeah, so of course he would do something like that for pacify on what happened on that case, for not let know the son or the victim of the creature what would happen in that case. But I wanted to avoid another trial before the stage of invitation ran out after all. Yeah, of course he will do something that also for that. That fucking man. So the why did we come to believe back then had all been a lie? Yeah, pretty much, Miles. If you didn't know about it, just make sure you know it from now on. Yeah, fair point. Statue limitation has long expired, but the shoe still sleeps right here. After the old man passed away, Uncle Ray took over as Mr. Master's defense attorney. Of course you did, Ray. Although Von Karma also had another prosecutor take over the case. Perhaps he thought that since his opponent was a rookie, he didn't even need to turn up. In the end, the real killer was never found, and Mr. Master was found guilty. No, is there nothing we can do even now? I don't think so, since the statute limitation is kinda over, so... But I suppose we can still do something for at least try to find out the real culprit about this case. Hence that Kirill was never found, he can withdraw his confession. I found out after the child that Mr. Master made a deal with Von Karma because Von Karma had threatened him. Of course he did. Again, not surprised he would do something like that. If you don't confess, Catherine Hall would be held under the same charges. Of course he played the card of accusing Catherine Hall for doing that. Of course he did. That's terrible. Yeah, I agreed, okay, agreed. I don't think Mr. Master really thought that Kate was the killer, but to protect her, he faked that confession. I mean, to protect her, I suppose he would do that, but still. Maltz. The day that Natalie Boy was killed, what do you think Uncle Ray was at the prison? I suppose for visiting Mr. Master. Ah, I see. You went to see Mr. Master, didn't you? Of course you did. I said I visited him every day. I couldn't keep the promise, but I asked the Kitty Pie to look in on him for me while I couldn't. When I couldn't. And of course he will do that. She will do that for Mr. Master. Through rain or snow she went, every single day without fail. But nothing has changed, and Mr. Master still serves his punishment. That's so sad. Isn't there anything we can do? That's why I came here. Because I know those ice sculptures will be on display here today. That's why you're here. So what are you are going to do, Miles? The question here. I'm a prosecutor. My position is different from you and my father. Miles, come on, you know you want to solve this case. Come on. Miles. That's I know that. But moving past my position, what I want as Miles Edward is it to know the truth of these two cases? Is it for the reason that I'm here? I know they will do it for that. You really are your father's son? What? Well then, if that's what you have decided, I'll support you all the way. Thank you, Ray. I'll better leave these 7 documents and the evidence with you then. Alright, thank you, Ray. So we can do more about this case. Alright, here are the documents. By the way, the parts in orange are Uncle's Ray old notes. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Ray.